Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Big Show powered by Law Dog Sports. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you on a hot Friday afternoon here in the Great Plains, Great Southwest, Rolling Plains, whatever you want to call it. It is hot and it is warm, and this is insane for March. I've got kids on my block out playing with a water hose and water slides and stuff like that. So it's just is it called faux summer, Jeremy, or fake summer, or is it just flat summer?
There was a term for it, but I'm not sure it's PC any longer.
Well,
Possibly that.
Yeah, it's hot and it's March and we really didn't have winter. But Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airwaves, joining me today, and as he always does, and we've got a lot of stuff to get into. Biggest of anything. Later here in just a minute, we'll talk about the loss of a legend who just happens to be an Oklahoman, and a lot of other stuff going on. The day one, day two action of the NCAA tournament going on. Some crazy games, some crazy endings, and then also a weird injury, situation with a front runner in the Eastern Conference of the NBA, and just so much more to get to. And just Jeremy, I have to say, I stayed up a little bit late last night watching some games, but I really missed most everything yesterday because of the fact that we are in the process, and I let our text thread know this, of selling our home and moving back to the metropolitan area. So to be in full disclosure to folks in Western Oklahoma, we are moving back to the metro area, but my intention is to stay on with Weatherford High School Sports as their play-by-play. It's been 5 seasons in. I don't really want to give it up. And as long as gas doesn't skyrocket to $6 or $7 a gallon, my plan is to stay with Weatherford Sports. But with all transparency and all honesty, Jeremy, I would rather let you take a sledgehammer to my nether regions repeatedly than have to go through showing a house, preparing a house, and all of this stuff that we do. It is, I do not recommend it to anyone.
Got to keep it tidy all the time.
Oh yeah,
no time to relax, man.
no
That's
time to relax.
Gotta suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Gina and I, we're just at. I mean, we're at the end of our rope. Just kind of, like we had a showing this morning. We had to get up early, get everything ready. We're kind of sitting back and ready to relax and or at least chill out for a little bit. It's like, can you do one at 3? Like, I guess so. So anyways, Marty Wandry from Clinton Liquor checking in. Apparently Marty not real happy about us moving, but I will make special intention to make it back out to some of the scrambles as well, to play golf with some of our friends that we've made out here in Western Oklahoma. I told Max Patton that yesterday. I love playing in the Sayre Scramble. I love playing in the Clinton Scramble, and that's coming from a Weatherford guy. So, but we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter X at Law Dog Sports. And so, yeah, moving and the process and all of that stuff is just, it's more than a 55-year-old guy needs to be dealing with. Just saying.
I'm sorry. You're really, yeah, you're convincing me never to sell.
Yeah, come talk to me before you consider anything, because I will do my best to talk you out of it. But it's kind of that time. We've got family that we kind of would like to get closer to again. With being the distance between where we're at and back where they're at and stuff like that. So things. That's the thing about life. If you want to make God laugh, as I've always heard, make plans.
Sure.
Make plans, and that'll God will show you where your plans might lie. But anyways, it's an interesting situation, and we're looking to it. But we'll miss Western Oklahoma. We'll miss being out here amongst the wind turbines and the heavy drilling and
you'll miss your commute to the local Walmart that's 4 towns over, and
25-minute commute to Walmart. You tab that up twice, that's 50 minutes. And so yeah, it's
I can walk to the Walmart close to me,
you can
shop and be back in 25 minutes.
You definitely could. And we remember those days living in Norman at that very same Walmart. And So, anyways, but we're looking in the Yukon area. That's where we intend to land. So, just a straight shot on I-40 to get back out to the folks who've helped make this program a lot better through this and our other offshoot, Western Oklahoma Sports Night. So, Jeremy, how have you been, buddy?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to complain
34-day government shutdown can't get me down.
I hate to complain about my situation to you. I just had to, but that's the thing about our wonderful U.S. government. And I think I saw a quote, and on the internet, it could have been Abraham Lincoln, it could have been Warren Buffett, but it said, if you really wanted to get the budget, balanced and everything funded, if make politicians unable to run for reelection if they don't get it done. And
that's term limits. Don't pay them anything. Just make it stop. It's stupid.
And I don't know if that's truly what Warren Buffett said, but whoever said it, whoever came up with it,
he said something about a balanced budget, and
that was it.
It was Warren Buffett.
Okay, so one of those few things on the internet that are true. So
who ESPN misidentified as an Oklahoma State alum. I wanted to call you when it happened. It was a couple months back, and I was like, "What? He went to Nebraska?"
Yeah, he's
thinking of Boone Pickens.
Yeah,
who's no longer with us.
And speaking of Nebraska and Marty checking in, Jeremy, maybe we can get Chuck to come to at least. Yes, I will.
That would be a
Metro. Tailgates will be on the agenda. I promise.
Yeah, it's it's a scene, man. You got to make it down.
I know it. You guys down there taking selfies and pictures and showing me all the fun I miss. So
nothing like some adult beverages at 8 a.m. for an 11 a.m. kick.
What's funny is I don't drink anymore.
I don't either.
And I don't.
Football season.
It's not a morality thing. It's not it's like a age thing. It's like,
I don't sleep well.
Now, 2 beers and I can't sleep all night.
That's why the 11 a.m. kickoff is beautiful as you get older, because you have enough time to hydrate the rest of the day, flush it out of your system, and at like 8 o'clock you're done.
Yeah, exactly. So
and it's cold, so you don't get too hot. You get the bamboo sheets. Throw the fan on. Man,
that's right. That is exactly right. But Marty Wandry checking in on Facebook. Thank you, Marty, and we will definitely be working. Marty may actually see more of me once I move than now. Anyway, so Jeremy, we'll get into some bracketology and some buzzer beaters and some things like that here in a little bit. But first, we really have to pay tribute to a man who's being lauded as a Texan. But he's actually an Oklahoman, and just because he played a Texan on television, Greg Abbott's doubling down. But
where was he born in Oklahoma?
It's Wilson, I think, Ryan. It's down there by Marietta.
Let me effort that real quick. No. But my mom texted me earlier, said Chuck Norris died. I'm like, that's just not possible.
No.
Apparently, death showed up 3 years ago. Chuck Roundhouse kicked him in the face, and death just woke up. So
Marty is saying Ryan. So
Ryan
with the effort there. I thought it was Ryan or Wilson or one of those ones down there. It's all down there. It's Red River country. It's just on the Oklahoma side. But if you're not sure, and Jeremy just said it, rest in peace, Chuck Norris, Super Sky Point. Just an amazing story when you think about it, because you look at that guy and
Oklahoma.
Back when martial arts in the movies was really kind of a hip scene, he jumped on it. He was, a big time martial artist, probably the closest thing back in the 70s to Bruce Lee. It's like Bruce Lee was 1 and Chuck Norris was like 1B, something like that, but I was looking over his film repertoire, and I have to go back and think that Lone Wolf McQuade was my favorite Chuck Norris movie.
Missing in Action.
Good one. Yeah.
Him popping out of the water with the M60. Oh man, great.
But like, he defeated a guy who was like subhuman or like, I mean, it wasn't quite Terminator, but it was a dude that was, a little extra.
What was the movie that he was in with Louis Gossett Jr. back in that time frame? It was right after Louis Gossett Jr. won the Oscar for Officer and Gentleman. Oh my gosh, I can't think of
Was
it.
it
Was on
Delta
it. It was
Force?
on HBO every day.
Was it Delta Force?
No, it wasn't Delta Force.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and much more so than Chuck Norris's movie career, his contribution by name only to the humor community is what
Yes.
really goes back and just grabs you by the feels. And all of the Chuck Norris jokes that used to flow. You know, I can remember, Jeremy, those came out back in a time before social media and before maybe even message boards. I think the first batch of Chuck Norris jokes I ever remember was like printed out on an email or something like that.
I remember those well.
Yeah.
Yes, and there were some Firewalker. That was it.
Firewalker.
Firewalker.
Oh, boy, I didn't remember that one. I remembered
They played treasure hunters. Yeah.
Delta Force, Missing in Action, and then like I said, my favorite was Lone Wolf McQuade.
Lone Wolf McQuade.
Yeah. And that one had
Oh,
quite the saucy Latina as as the co-star in that one. And plus great character actor from a lot of the Sam Peckinpah movies. LQ Jones was in that one too. So
I'm looking at the cast of Firewalker. We had we had Louis Gossett Jr., John Rhys Davies, Will Sampson.
yeah, Will Sampson, Oklahoma product.
Here you go, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Abercrombie.
Ian Abercrombie. Who?
Mr.
Where do I know
Pitt.
that?
Mr.
Huh?
Pitt. Mr. Pitt.
Oh, Mr. Pitt.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
And the immortal Sonny Landham.
Sonny Landham.
He was in Predator. Native American guy.
Yeah, Bear.
Apparently,
he was Billy Bear in 48 Hours, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently he was batshit crazy.
That doesn't surprise me, I guess. So yeah, he sliced his own chest in Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I saw a clip on Instagram from 48 Hours the other night when Eddie Murphy goes in that redneck bar.
New sheriff of town.
I'm your worst nightmare. But anyway, so rest in peace, Chuck Norris. Your jokes were just humor for the soul. I think my favorite one was when Chuck Norris does push-ups. He's not pushing himself up. He's pushing the earth down.
I was always partial to Chuck Norris doesn't sleep. He waits. I don't know why.
And the one about when he was born, the doctor slapped his behind. He roundhouse kicked the doctor. Well, one of the entertainment shows showed him just last month out doing martial arts. So whatever hit him quick. So
apparently he's in Hawaii.
I mean,
yeah, he was in Hawaii when it happened on vacation.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Think about where I'll go.
Right.
Think about where I'll be when I go. Probably a Norman parking lot at a tailgate.
That or sitting on the throne. Just like the king.
Just like the king. All right. Well, rest in peace, Chuck Norris, and the tributes, I'm sure. You know, the sad thing is so many big figures from our youth are beginning to answer that call. And while it is sad, one of the silver linings of all of it is generally if they were any sort of movie star, Turner Classic Movies will have like a marathon of
Marty's chiming in. Played himself in Dodgeball. Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, it was, and I read he was the deciding vote.
It was the deciding vote that the average Joe's got to go on. Yes.
Yeah. So anyways, but rest in peace, great Oklahoman Chuck Norris. And so just an amazing. And you know, another thing, Jeremy, is as I saw, I think Super 70 Sports shared it, but back in the early 80s in a lot of the martial arts magazines, you would see advertisements for like stretch jeans that you could do a roundhouse kick while wearing. And I think he was a spokesperson for some of that.
And why wouldn't he be?
Exactly. Him and a guy named Superfoot, I remember.
Superfoot. Yeah, he was a kickboxer.
Something like that.
I remember the name just because in the movie Say Anything, Cusack's character is trying to explain kickboxing to his girlfriend's parents. It's a sport of the future.
John Cusack, what a turnaround that guy had in his
yeah,
career,
he's a turd.
He was a goofy nerd for about 3 full years, and then all of a sudden turned into
Superfoot Bill Wallace.
Superfoot Bill Wallace advertised those Century stretch jeans. I think they were.
He's 80, so he'll be the next one.
Now that's the thing about each calendar year is there's plenty to go around. So, but that's the thing about it is we lived during the greatest time on earth. So
that's right.
And
there's only rumors about what we did.
And so, unfortunately, our kids won't get to experience that thanks to a lot of the current moves getting made that will probably bring on the never mind. So bracketology. Man, what a day for college basketball yesterday and today. And like I said, I've just kind of played catch up through it while we've been handling our impending move. But just to, I'll say this: how many times is Otega Owe going to just pull people's hearts out and show it to him beating before he has to stop? Because
he does it to me every day just because he's not at Oklahoma any longer.
Well, he did it to Santa Clara earlier today, and I was going to try to pull the audio, but I thought, well, we'll just yak about it. But what overtime game. Kentucky ends up winning. It just was, like I said, Kentucky's down 3 with about 3 seconds left, and then he hits basically a half quarter to send it to overtime. So,
and he had 35 points today.
Yeah. And I tell you another thing too, Jeremy, is the dadgum Texas Longhorns. They have been skating by on some thin ice, but getting it done. And each night I sit and watch the tail end of their games, I see that piece of crap Sean Miller on there. Of course, somebody got him to do the down Longhorns. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter. He was walking off the court after they beat NC State, and somebody was holding up the downward Longhorns, and he did it back. Then he did the Xavier X, and he probably didn't know what he was really doing. But
I don't think he probably did. Well, I'm watching. Iowa State's just beating the crap out of Tennessee State.
Yeah, 103-70 on that one with 1:40 left to go. And I don't know. I watched some of the Gonzaga game last night. I watched the tail end of Texas and BYU. Just trying to catch it where I can. And I may get a chance to sit and watch a few tonight. But
the hater in me turned on the Duke game yesterday hoping for magic, and it just didn't happen.
That was that Siena that they were playing?
No, they were playing. Who did Duke play yesterday? I'm sitting here trying. Oh, let me go to Thursday. They played. Hey, Nebraska finally got an NCAA tournament win.
They did.
How about that?
I was going to say.
Yeah, they did beat Siena.
Yeah, it was
Siena. And Siena played their starters the entire 40-minute ball game.
Yeah, I think
that was a little odd.
Yeah. I heard other than 10 seconds, every starter played every minute.
Yeah, they kind of pulled guys when it was 2 scores with less than 10 seconds left.
I tell you what, SEC could be taking it on the chin a little bit because, Georgia just got dog walked by St. Louis last night.
Yeah, let's see. SEC teams still alive. A&M, UT Austin, Arkansas. That's all from that day.
Yeah.
Well, Bama.
Out of this.
Bama's up 13 with 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Tennessee's up 18 with 3:33 left in the half. Kentucky won.
TCU got a big win over Ohio State, 66-64. I'm telling you, Jamie Dixon is a good coach.
Yeah, what he's doing at TCU is, where he was at Pitt, right?
Yeah, somewhere up.
Thought he was in the ACC.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess they fired him. Why? Because
just not. That's I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was previously
he's been at TCU a while now. It's not recently that he made the move, but
that's right. Yeah. He was at Pitt for 14 seasons.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a good amount of time.
I tell you this, the Nebraska win and them advancing will be very beneficial for the tax base and sales tax incentives for the city of Oklahoma City. Because let me tell you something, Nebraska fans travel, and when they do, they drink.
Yeah, well, I mean, funny you bring that up because I've been watching Twitter today, and the Nebraska fans are on there in force bitching at the bar hours in Oklahoma, and there's nothing to do, and like, yeah, well, hey, we weren't expecting you to stay longer than a day.
Well, yeah. What do you need to be out past? Are they allowed to be out past 2 in Lincoln?
Yeah, that's when they shuck the corn at night. I don't know, man.
I thought 2 o'clock was kind of a universal thing, except for big cities.
Yeah, it's spring break
downtown.
Yeah, and most of them are frequented by younger people, college people.
Yeah,
and it's spring break.
I mean, if you're staying at the Omni, you should have everything right there. I mean,
and
what do you got in Lincoln too? I mean,
if there's so many of you there, why do you need the locals? Throwing salt in your game.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just that could be bots too.
Yeah, screw them.
Yeah, but back in the day, my first set of in-laws owned a club on I-35 back in the early 90s. And let me tell you something. They loved when Nebraska came to play OU.
Which club on I-35?
It was called Chastain's.
And now it's like a trucker jiggle hut.
It's a let's see. It's always been at a day inside of
Days Inn, yeah.
Days Inn. Back in the day, there used to be a nice steakhouse there called the Black Gold.
Uh-huh.
And it had the big wooden mock derrick.
I remember Chastain's. I don't think I ever went there because I was too young, but
they did so much business back in the day. They advertised heavily on the radio on KXY and did like special remotes and stuff like that. Construction really kicked them in the butt as they widened I-35. But
you put something along I-35, that's what you signed up for. I mean, it's I-35. It's going to be under construction forever. And when they're just going to keep moving up the highway.
Yeah.
Eventually it's going to affect everything.
But when I came to know them, and about the time my oldest son was born, they were doing really well. And man, like I said, they love Nebraska fans. I mean, they came down, and I mean they came down to do one thing before they came down to do 2 things: run the I formation, power
run the stack eye, and drink.
Stack eye. So, anyways, but Nebraska fans, don't give up hope. Your team's in it for another round, into the round of 32. So stick with it, and partake.
Yeah, and so first team out, Oklahoma Sooners, and SMU gets in under false pretenses. Their star player was out, was not playing.
Yeah,
and they lose in the play-in game
to Miami of Ohio, right?
Yes. Yeah. Good job, NCAA selection committee.
Yeah,
good job.
Yeah, and what's sad is when I was so happy when University of Maryland, Baltimore, UMBC won their conference tournament, got the automatic bid, and then had to play a play-in game. But before they lost in the play-in game, they talked so much shade on Bruce Pearl and Auburn.
If you win your conference tournament, you should not be in a play-in game.
I don't think so either. The play-in should be for fringe bubble team.
You got 16 seeds that didn't play on Wednesday, but then you're playing for the 11 seed. That makes no sense. The play-in should be for 16 seeds only.
Wait. So Well, I mean, if you win your conference tournament, you're playing for a 16 seed, right?
Well, let's see.
Because
If I'm reading this right, and there's who the hell
it's
knows if
always a
I am.
game. Oh, it's always a
So
game.
Prairie View and Lehigh were playing for a 16 seed.
Yeah.
Miami of Ohio and SMU were playing for the 11 seed.
And same with NC State and Texas.
In the Midwest region. And no, Texas, NC State was 11 seed, and UMBC and Howard were 16.
Yeah. So two play-in games for a 16 seed and 2 play-in games for 11. That makes
no sense, right?
No.
There's what? How many 16 seed? Well, there's 4 16 seeds, 4 regions. Well, I mean, you could play for the 4 15 seeds.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean would that make more sense?
Well, like you said, if you win your conference tournament, even if it's like the Horizon League or the Big South or whatever it is, you should just be in. You should be in on day. You should get to play on day one.
Yeah.
You should have the opportunity to get yourself hammered by either the 15 or 16 or 1 or 2 seed.
Uh-huh.
And then, if you're a bubble team because your conference has 7 and you're on the bubble because you're 8th, you should be that's the play-in right there.
The 4 lowest WOBs should play in the play.
Yeah, I think so.
Wins against bubble.
I think so. So, but anyways, how about High Point defeating Wisconsin? That was the big bracket buster yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
That was really not a great day for the Big Ten, Jeremy.
Well,
I mean, Sparty did okay.
Yeah, Sparty's one of those programs that this is their time of year.
Yeah, but Illinois romped, Michigan romped, so maybe you wouldn't figure Wisconsin and Ohio State would already be out by now, but
yeah, Michigan's got enough money to support all their various marquee sports.
Yeah.
A lot of these schools do not, and it's pick or choose. You're going to be good in basketball, you're going to be good in football.
Yeah. Tennessee up on Miami of Ohio, 20 seconds till the half, 48-32. Tonight, Iowa and Clemson play at 5:50. That's going to be one of interest to me because of one Tate Sage, former Weatherford Eagle, who plays for the Hawkeyes. And then Northern Iowa, St. John's. UCF, UCLA, that'll be a pretty good one. And Purdue versus Queens University, that'll be some must-see TV.
Queens University,
and then the one that has Canes fans all wound up is the Missouri-Miami game, which is being played in St. Louis, and the Canes fans screaming home court advantage. That's so rich to me, Jeremy.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you get to play your national title game in your home stadium, shut up. Just shut up.
Shut up.
Just shut up.
That's why I hate them. That's why I hate the fact that they're relevant again. I just despise them. And you're talking about being good in football and basketball. You think about young Charlie Ramsey, who graduated in 1988, and midway through his senior year got to watch his favorite football team lose in the Orange Bowl, and then got to watch his favorite basketball team lose in the NCAA championship. So
yeah, that was tough days.
It was really tough days. I mean, I thought about not going to college.
Just end it all.
This is the
low point of all low points.
That's right.
Goodbye, cruel world.
We are Law Dog Sports, the weekend big show. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways, and working under much duress as he, and we admire him much for that. And I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, streaming here with you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter X. Give us your comments. Tell us what you think about sports going on today or over the weekend. Jeremy, did you get a look at the Rory McIlroy Masters menu earlier in the week?
I did. Seemed like it was a bit much.
Toffee pudding or?
Yeah, I mean, he's Irish, and
he's not Irish. He's Northern Irish.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's damn near. I thought he was Scottish, but apparently he's. Well, that region isn't known for its food.
I've always heard everything on that aisle is bland. I've heard it is bland as all get out.
I was, I don't think he is Scottish, but if he was, it'd be a crime if he didn't include haggis.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if Haggis is dined in Belfast or not. But I'm sure there's
Probably not.
I'm sure there's some other blasphemy of the bovine anatomy that's cooked up for
That's a
dinner.
sheep's stomach stuffed with all the leftovers.
Oh,
I want to throw up just thinking about
it's so
it.
I remember in So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yep.
He brought a bag of haggis to his mom, and they both just winced when he opened it.
I
His
believe all
mother
Scottish
loved
food
it.
is based on a dare.
Oh man, but just crazy stuff. But yeah, Rory, I mean, the menu, I get it, but thank God, Jeremy, that we're not dealing with a situation like we were in like 97, 98, where Fuzzy Zeller
Yeah, Fuzzy
did a
should have
little,
just sat that one out.
you know,
Yeah.
let's not have fried chicken, boy, or something, whatever it was. Like,
All right, put your collar down,
oh
old man.
God,
It's
dude.
over. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop it, Fuzzy.
Get the F out. And but yeah,
Oh, Tiger's playing in the Masters this year.
he is. And I think he's got a little spryness to him, Jeremy.
Well, let's hope he can walk all 72 holes. That'd be cool to see him have a good tournament. Make
Now,
the cut at least.
how's the younger Woods faring? Is he in college now?
He is in college.
Okay.
He's not quite the phenom his father was.
Well,
I mean, that's
sure.
just a massive shadow cast.
Oh yeah.
But
Jordan's kids weren't either.
yeah, Tiger's just kind of letting him do his thing.
Yeah.
And he's being a good dad, I guess. And
Yeah.
I is he playing at He might be playing at Stanford.
I think so.
I mean, it was always exciting, for us old guys that, watch Tiger all through his prime, and then, they're playing father-son tournaments together. Like, oh, that's awesome. Let's go, Charlie.
Sure. I root for the kid.
Oh, yeah. Anything to keep that connection, man.
I'd have rooted for Bronny if he would have,
Stayed at
his time at USC and become a member of the rotation. And
remember, he transferred to Akron right before he got drafted.
That's true.
If he would have just, done a couple years in college and shown that, that he was a viable player instead of LeBron creating organizational fatigue and forcing a trade so his son would get drafted.
Well, and that kind of brings me around to our next topic, Jeremy. The NBA is all abuzz, and I watched part of the little bit of the Houston Lakers game the other night and the ending of the Nuggets and Lakers game, which once it went to overtime, I turned it off. I didn't care. But Lakers are on an 8-game win streak.
Yes.
And so now, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, the narrative was they're
better without LeBron.
They're better without LeBron. Well, how funny now that they're on this 8-game win streak and they're all finding their roles and this and that. And how funny that they're about to go on an East Coast swing and Cade Cunningham, playing for the lone team that they will face, I think, that has any sort of they played the Magic last night, I think, didn't they?
I think so. They're sitting at 50-19.
So the only real contender they would have been facing would have been the Pistons. And now those same Pistons are without their star player. And I'm sorry, I just think WWE when this kind of crap starts.
Well, Chuck, they have to go to Orlando. Orlando's playing really good ball right now. I mean, that's not a layup for them. They're only favored by 2.5 on the road.
Yeah.
They're going to have a lot of problems with Paulo Banchero. They don't have anybody that can really guard him.
Well, I thought the same thing about, of course, Amin Thompson and Halpern had big games. It was KD that let the team down.
And of course, they're not getting any back-to-backs this time of year because Lakers, right? And then they got to go to the Pistons.
Yeah. Oh, because they beat the Heat. They beat the Heat last night. 130-26.
They go play. I mean, they could realistically lose the first two of their East Coast swing. They're playing the Magic and the Pistons. Then they have the Pacers, and the Pacers are just awful. I mean, they're tanking. They're 15-55. Call it what it is. There's nothing for them to play for this year with Halliburton out. And then where are they? Then they go home and play the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's like facing the G League team.
The Nets aren't any good. Oklahoma City just curb stomped them the other night.
So the Magic Lakers are tomorrow night, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the day
off. I thought yesterday was Friday.
No, today is Friday. Don't say that, man. I need tomorrow. It's my last day of vacation. Then they have the Wizards at home.
Yeah. So, like I said, the two games that you would look at and say would be contentious for them would have been Orlando and Detroit. And they may or may not get past Orlando. Luka had 60 last night, so he's hitting his stride. But I tweeted out Tuesday night, LeBron puts out so much more effort on a game where Richard Jefferson's calling it because he knows he's going to get glazed all night long.
I just can't deal with LeBron. I'm so ready for him to go ahead and hang him up. Yeah, it's past time.
Yeah. Well, your Thunder are doing well. Some shifts in the lineup. SGA doing his thing. They don't have the hardest of East Coast swings either, but hey, they've faced their last week and a half was tougher than all get out.
Yeah, and they won every one of them.
Yeah.
And they're playing Washington tomorrow, then to Philly. They shouldn't have any problems with those two teams. Embiid's out. Paul George is still out.
Yeah.
Then they got to go play the Celtics. Celtics have a good team. That's a tough one. Then Bulls, Knicks, Pistons. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So, and hey, if Cade Cunningham, if he, whatever his injury is, I hope he recovers fully. I want that guy ready for the playoffs. I want him making a run with Detroit.
Collapsed lung.
Yes, that's what it was.
Go ahead and air that sucker back up and get him out there.
Yeah, let's get you healed up, Pally. Great player. He's an outstanding player, and what a tribute to the Oklahoma State basketball program to have had him in their ranks. Sometimes you get a player like that, they come in and you really make a run. Sometimes it's a struggle to get the fit right or whatever, but kudos to him and kudos to them, and I'll root for the kid.
He's
seems like
a good player,
and he's developed his game, but I'm always conspiracy minded and always suspicious of things that just happen to lay themselves out for the Lakers.
Yeah, that purple and gold seems to hold a lot of sway over the office in New York.
Yeah, they've apparently got pictures of silver and doing something.
They have nothing, then all of a sudden they get Luka.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
But hard to believe that at one time they were in line to get Chris Paul to play with Kobe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and David Stern put the kibosh on that, but Nosferatu has no inclination of letting the Lakers wander in the desert.
No. Wouldn't behoove them.
No.
So anyways, but that will be very interesting as it goes forward. And we will, we'll probably by this time next week just be leading off with NBA stuff because it's getting to that time.
It really is. I'm trying to get into it. I really am.
Well, and baseball will be kicking on here pretty quick. Spring training games going on, and a couple of them have been on the air. It's going to be weird going back to the Metro for us. I guess I'll stick with YouTube TV because I love the multi-view.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But I don't know. Do I want to be forking over $300 a month for Cox Cable? You
don't.
I miss the local channel. I miss those local public access channels and bulletin board channels. Norman had a great one.
Yeah, I can't say that I do miss those. Been pretty happy with YouTube, except for that one little blip on the radar when they dropped ESPN and all the House of Mouse channels.
Yeah,
but during during football season, or like right now, I don't know why I'm not doing this. I could have all the games on.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
because I'm not invested in any of them, so I don't really have to be invested in any of them.
Exactly. This is a weird
Lenny Rowland's calling you on the carpet. He doesn't think you're an OU fan.
I'm sorry I complimented an OSU player and the OSU basketball program. My bad, Lenny.
It's okay. You can. I
mean, we're trying to be fair and balanced on this.
You can hold disdain for a program, but respect people that actually played there, like Barry Sanders. Yeah. Barry Sanders is the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah.
He played up there. He never beat Oklahoma. Sorry for him, but he was amazing.
It's what was the kid's name? Brent Parker. Is Brent Parker the one that that dropped the pass, or is Brent Parker the one that the onside kick?
Yeah, I can't. I think Brent Parker was the one who dropped the pass.
Yeah. So, it's like that. It's like that fourth down play for USC against Texas. You're always going to be asked the question, you needed a play. Why wasn't the ball in your best player's hand? That was open. I mean,
sure,
it was open, but Lindell White. I saw an interesting tweet the other night put out by somebody at the USC page. The impact that Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and Lindell White had during their time at USC. Who else has done that? And somebody brought up the record that the Selman brothers brought to the table during the time they were
75-3-1.
Exactly. The number.
Yeah, talking about the best play. I just have flashbacks to a conversation I had with the buddy the other day about the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
when Oklahoma has 4th and 2. You got the best player on the field that day was Rodney Anderson. You have Baker Mayfield under center, and you run a jet sweep to Jordan Smallwood and get stopped.
Yeah, it hurts. I mean, that hurts.
It stings to think about it. Like I wanted to throw something on the field when it happened.
Well, and it's like I've said, and I know we're kind of going off in a wormhole here, but it's those, and I hate to say this, but it's kind of the Mike Leach tree. It's always getting too cute for your britches.
Yeah,
sticking with what's been working.
Yeah, Mike Leach at least knew who he was, and
Mike Leach wouldn't have done that.
No,
his offshoots have coached themselves out of some wins over the years. I swear.
You think?
Yeah, particularly that one offshoot. Anyways,
son of a bitch.
You talk about painful. I mean, that one is painful. So, but it would have been interesting to see how many yards probably Jalen Hurts would have passed for against that OU secondary.
Oh my God! I mean, especially one that lined up against LSU.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Lenny says you still have enough time to come out and support number 4 ranked Oklahoma Sooners women play tonight. I'm in Western Oklahoma, Lenny, trying to sell a house, so my apologies. Jeremy, you are a little bit closer, but OU baseball and softball kind of carrying the torch for Sooner sports here in the spring.
Yeah, Skip's boys took one on the nose last night.
It was Thursday, so.
Well, they played LSU. That's close enough to the weekend. They're that lefty. His name's escaping me right now. Really good player.
He's the one that won it for him last year, isn't he?
Yeah. He struggled mightily last night. They got beat 9-1. He gave up like 4 runs in the first, 4 runs in the second.
Yeah,
rough outing. You're gonna have those. It's a long season.
Oh yeah. An SEC play. I mean, good Lord. You talk about some grinders.
Yeah, and Skip just doesn't have the resources these other programs have, right? Isn't that what we're doing now?
Well, did we talk about? See, last week, Porter, when we were on last week, Porter had not lost to Arkansas yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that evening. So,
and they played a hell of a game.
They played a hell of a
really
game.
Good Arkansas team.
Heck of a run. Whatever happened in January that caused them to tank so bad.
The kid from Dale was hurt.
Forsyth?
Yeah, Dayton Forsyth.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing the talk kid either.
Yeah.
Could have been. But whatever it was, they righted the ship and had a heck of a homeward stretch. So Porter Moser gets the vote of confidence to stay another year. Roger Denny, makes the decision. We're gonna hold pat. I'm gonna say right now that I'll go out and say it. Yes, you do need to go out and publicly say you're going to get him more resources, more NIL, whatever the case might be. But also,
where
you don't want to get into that LSU situation when you're paying out multiple coaches buyouts.
Exactly.
So let him. It's basketball. Let him make another run, see what he can do.
I was ready for a change, but then you think about you got to pay him to leave.
Yeah.
And then you're going to bring someone else in who's going to have the same issues that Porter's had with, they're spending $6.5 million on the roster. Their budgeting is not quite up to par with the rest of the SEC. I mean, they're down towards the bottom. Mm-hmm. I can't think of who's worse. Might be South Carolina or Mississippi State.
Yeah.
One of those two schools doesn't put anything into basketball. Oklahoma barely puts anything into basketball. Give him some resources. I still think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
He's had great players on campus that they were just not able to retain. Otega Owe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Get him some money, and if it doesn't work next year, it doesn't work next year. I think it's the last year of his contract anyways, so let's.
Yeah. I think you're going to see more of that. I think the days, unless you're just, and you,
unless Kevin Stitt gets involved and fires him himself.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it last week. The governor of Louisiana nuking the whole university. But I think unless you get into that whole thing, you're going to be looking at it and saying, okay, we're gonna let this play out. We're not gonna waste money on, like you said, something that the next guy would come in and have to deal with also.
Yeah, Lenny comments that he watched Kelvin Sampson's team take care of business last night.
Calvin Simpson.
Yeah, Lenny, when he was at OU, that was some of the most frustrating basketball anybody has ever watched. We're talking.
Wasn't the shot clock like 40 seconds back then?
It was 40 seconds back then.
And he wasn't moving towards the bucket until 9 seconds.
Yes, the bigs would play on the perimeter, and, you'd rarely get any motion underneath the basket. And it just encapsulates his entire tenure at OU.
I'm happy he's doing great at Houston. I'd give anything if he would have won it last year.
Sure. That's fine. But we also had some great basketball after he left. Let's not discount, Coach Lon Kruger.
Yeah.
Did some great things. Capel had, until he just completely lost his ever-loving mind.
Mm-hmm.
But the Big 12 title game, when they played Missouri and did not have a field goal for the last 13 minutes of regulation and somehow won the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hart Hustle Hardwood, we were all excited about it. They were great players.
People were excited when they moved on from Kelvin and hired Jeff Capel. Just saying.
And Kelvin's first 5 years were a lot like Porter's first 5 years. Yeah, he got in the tournament every year. It took him 4 years to finally win a game.
Yeah.
It was tough beginnings for Kelvin when he was at OU.
Was the year OU lost to Manhattan with the Miners or with Ryan Miner, was that Kelvin's first year?
I thought they lost to Indiana State his first time out.
The Jaspers beat them one season.
Yeah, they lost some games that they should not have lost.
I'm just trying to remember if that was Billy's last season. I don't know if Billy went to the tournament his last season.
I can't remember. I mean, I know he had Miner.
Yeah.
And was Heskett? No, Heskett wasn't around then.
Heskett was later. He was all
trying to think of who else was on that team.
Probably would have been a Terry Evans.
Terry Evans, yeah.
At least for the Billy years.
I think the Billy ball had kind of run its course.
I remember when Smokey McCovery transferred from OU to OCU.
Yeah.
he played on 23rd Street there.
Did you remember how good those OCU teams were back then, though?
I do.
Oh, my goodness.
I was there. I was actually on a mission trip when they won their first national title under Daryl Johnson. I can't remember if it's Johnson or Johnston, but
Johnston was the fullback for the Cowboys.
Okay, Daryl Johnson. They won it in 91 and 92, and I think Smokey McCovery was on that 92 squad. Eric Manuel, former Kentucky blue chipper, actually almost put the death knell in Kentucky's basketball program. Transferred into OSU, and he was such an amazing player. Especially
was that when Eddie was there?
That was Eddie. There was some ACT allegations and stuff like that.
There were lots of allegations.
There was lots of allegations
there in Kentucky.
Yeah, Eric Manuel was an amazing talent, and it would have been interesting to see him do it at the D1 level.
They had OCU had some dudes back then.
Yeah, Win Case was the assistant coach. He later, I think, might have had an issue down at a NCAA tournament game with some ticket scalping or something, I think.
Yeah, it's all good fun.
Daryl Johnston went to Baylor and got in trouble there.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing run for OCU, and they've had other amazing runs too. Real quick comment line: Marty Wandry, Kentucky, 21.5 million NIL versus OU 6.5.
And there it is.
Lenny Rowland asked, "Do you think we are going to see more blue bloods get high pointed?" Well, one thing,
do you consider Wisconsin a blue blood?
Wisconsin's not a blue blood. They were a high seed. I don't see. I mean, Duke struggled for a half against Siena. Arizona plays tonight. I just don't see those squads struggling. They are. You saw it last night with Houston. I think who was it they were playing? What was the college? Who's the college that Houston?
Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho was like in it for the first 5 minutes, got it made it right, and then Houston goes on a run. So it's tough to go against some of these squads. Lenny also says send them away, learn some new tricks. He might be ready. I guess talking about Kelvin.
Kelvin is over 70. He wears sweatpants now on the sideline.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not talking about the guy in the khakis and the blue chambray and the sport coat that is almost naked by halftime.
If it comes down to a coaching change and you're thinking something of that vein,
Hollis Price,
Quantus White, Hollis Price, Kellen.
Kellen's going to be Kellen is the head coach in waiting at Houston. That's just how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
What did North Carolina do? Did they lose?
Yes, they lost. They've been decimated by injuries. So
they lost to Virginia Commonwealth. Okay,
yeah, VCU, and that
is a blue blood.
A10 Atlantic 10 with St. Louis and VCU. That's pretty good, pretty solid. Higher seeds there.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, we just we'll pay attention to this, but as far as the Porter Moser thing, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's probably pretty smart. And that way, you're just going to say, we gave you every chance, bro.
And Denny must have received some, positive signaling from the donors that they were going to support it. Because I don't think he moves to retain Porter without, the people that are actually funding it committing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and Porter's a good coach. It's not that it's not that he's a bad coach. It's a terrible situation.
Go ahead.
The roster turnover at Oklahoma has just been stupid. He has a brand new team every single season. It's tough. It's super tough.
Yeah. Well, and even when you've got the right coach, and I'll say this, Tennessee has the right coach. Rick Barnes is an amazing coach.
Yeah.
It doesn't guarantee that you're going to excel.
And think of all the guys that have been at Texas since Rick Barnes left there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Chris Beard is probably their biggest splash hire.
Well, yeah, but we remember why he left there.
Exactly.
It wasn't a performance issue. It was
Shaka Smart, total underachiever.
Virginia Commonwealth, right?
Yep. Rodney
just
Terry,
like Jeff Capel.
Rodney
Don't hire
Terry,
anybody from there.
Rodney Terry didn't get really much of a chance. He was just kind of the stopgap between, Chris Beard and now. But like I said, I hate Sean Miller. I hope all the lack of success on him, but whatever. Marty says, don't bet on Arizona. A team west of Oklahoma and Kansas has not won the title since 1997. So that would have been the Arizona season, right? With Miles Hyman and
Lute
Olson and Mike Bibby.
Yeah, Mike Bibby. Wow.
Should have been NBA champion Mike Bibby.
Well, play for the Kings. That's what you get.
I saw Chris Webber doing commentary the other night. He's good.
Is he?
Or last night. He's a really good commentator. So, man, I tell you, CBS super sky point to Greg Gumbel.
Yeah.
That guy was so good.
He really was.
I'm just going to say this. The Burleson guy who's on CBS Morning News and all that, he does not need to be on the air with Chuck Barkley. He those segments go way far, and I think Clark Kellogg has trouble getting a word in, and is just don't get a football player on there to try to moderate a basketball broadcast.
Yeah, that's why Ernie's so good.
Yes.
He's perfect with that crew.
And
that's
Lenny Rowland says, I don't think anyone wants to play A&M. They looked really good against the Children of the Corn at St. Mary's.
I tell you one team that wouldn't mind playing A&M if it meant they were in the NCAA tournament and beat them soundly. Oklahoma wouldn't mind playing them.
Yeah. Kansas taking on Cal Baptist tonight. Texas Tech has beaten Akron 91-71. And then, like I said, a lot of games going on tonight. I didn't do a bracket this year in all transparency.
I didn't either. Well, what's fun is you have all these schools like that's made up. There's no way.
High Point, Cal Baptist.
High Point. Then you read about High Point and it's like, oh my goodness.
What was that school that Nick Nolte coached in Blue Chips? Pacific or
yeah, they were the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I can't, it was Pacific.
And the gal from Dances with Wolves was his wife,
Mary McDonald.
Yeah, Mary McDonald.
Yeah.
UCLA, UCF tonight. St. John's, Northern Iowa, Clemson. Right now, in the second half, 11:19 left to go. Utah State has a 1-point lead over Villanova.
Oh.
And then Florida and Prairie View, UConn and Furman. UConn as a 2 seed surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, 29-5. That's still the Big East, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still the Big East in basketball.
Well, yeah, I think so. So
you know how CBS loves that Big East basketball, man.
Here on CBS.
On CBS.
You're on CBS. Let's get out of here, Jeremy.
All right, it's already been an hour.
We were supposed to go on at 3 house showings and stuff. We ended up going on at 4, so my apologies.
Yeah, no big deal,
everybody. And thank you to Marty Wandry, Lenny Rowland, and everyone else who chimed. They might have been the only ones today.
I didn't see Dan.
No, Dan, no show. But he's always good to watch later. And then also Connor Carr probably sitting somewhere watching Arkansas baseball or a replay of the Arkansas game. So.
Watching the Darren McFadden highlights.
Highlights. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. This has been the Weekend Big Show. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure and subscribe to our page. We want to thank our sponsor, A-Plus Roofing and Construction, rain or shine. They'll be there, locally owned and operated by Damon Schultz. Western Oklahoma and metro area can get you service. And trust me, there will be storms eventually, and there will be hail damage. So don't trust your repairs to just anybody. Call A-Plus Roofing and Construction, 580-772-7587. It's right there on the scroll and on the banner there at the top of the page. So thank you to them. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. And we'll talk to you next Friday for the Weekend Big Show.